Stop. Do not scroll past this video. Pause whatever is happening right now. Because the moment you clicked on this title, heaven marked your name. A watcher's angel leaned forward, and a prophetic voice that has been silent for 2,000 years just opened its mouth to speak directly to you. There are 7 billion people alive today, but these words were meant for you, only you. And if you stay until the end, you will understand why nothing in your life made sense until this exact moment. Listen carefully, because this is not random. You found this video at this exact time, after the exact storm you just walked through. That is not coincidence. That is divine orchestration. The hand of God is pressing your heart forward, saying, "My child, you are finally ready to hear what I have been saving for you since before you were born." So do not interrupt this. Sit with me, breathe with me, and let your spirit receive what your mind could never understand. There is a reason you are hearing this today. You may have noticed something shifting inside you. Quiet things, sacred things. Maybe you have been waking up before sunrise without knowing why. Maybe certain songs make you weep. Maybe you feel other people's pain even when they are smiling. Maybe you have been tired of fake conversations and crowded rooms. Maybe you have felt like you are standing in a hallway between two worlds. That is not depression. That is not anxiety. That is the sound of a spiritual gift waking up inside your chest. And you, chosen one, are the first human being to activate it in 2,000 years. Let that sink in. 2,000 years. That is longer than empires have risen and fallen. That is longer than religions have been born and died. That is longer than languages have evolved. That is longer than revolutions have changed the course of human history. And in all of that time, this gift has been sleeping, waiting, hidden in the vault of heaven, protected by angels, preserved in the heart of God for this exact moment, for this exact purpose, for you. Type yes in the comments if this is already speaking to your spirit, because something inside you just recognized these words. Something deep and ancient recognized the frequency of truth. And that recognition, that instant knowing, is your first confirmation that this message is real. That this is not manipulation, that this is not hype, that this is not someone trying to sell you something or make you feel good temporarily. This is real. Now, I want to talk to you about something almost no one will understand. The people around you, even your family, cannot see the invisible weight you have been carrying. They did not know about the nights you cried alone and begged God to tell you why you felt so different. They did not understand why you outgrew friends so quickly. They called you too sensitive, too quiet, difficult. But what they did not know was that you were being prepared. God has been preparing you. Long before you took your first breath, the Creator looked at history and chose this divine moment for you to arrive. You were placed at the exact intersection of darkness and awakening. Your soul was forged in a furnace that most people never walk into. Every painful breakup, every betrayal, every loss, every lonely night, every closed door, all of it was a hammer. Every tear was a polish. Every silence was a sharpening. And the person you are today is not broken. You are not behind. You are weaponized. You have been quietly, patiently, lovingly tempered into something heaven has been waiting to use. So I need you to understand something very carefully right now, because this is foundational to everything that is about to happen in your life. You were never ordinary. Do not accept the label. Do not believe the narrative. You were never meant to be average. You were never meant to fade into the background. You were never meant to live a small, quiet, unremarkable life. From the moment God breathed life into your body, He breathed something extraordinary into your spirit. You were never too much. The intensity that people criticized, the passion that people said was over the top, the dreams that people said were unrealistic, the visions that people said were impossible. That was not you being too much. That was you being exactly as much as you were meant to be. The world wanted to shrink you. The world wanted to reduce you. The world wanted to make you smaller so that you would fit into their comfort zone. But you do not fit their comfort zone because you were not made for their comfort zone. You were made for something greater. You were never too sensitive. the way you feel things deeply, the way you are affected by injustice, the way you weep at the suffering of others, the way you cannot just laugh and move on when you see pain in the world. That sensitivity is not a flaw. That is your greatest superpower. That sensitivity is the antenna that picks up frequencies that most people are too numb to receive. That sensitivity is your direct line to heaven. That sensitivity is how you will heal a broken world. You were never too emotional. Emotions are not weakness. Emotions are information. Emotions are the language of the soul. When you feel deeply, when you cry easily, when you are moved by beauty and by suffering, you are not being weak. You are being real. You are being human in the way that God designed humans to be. Most people have learned to suppress their emotions because the world told them emotions were inconvenient. But you have kept yours alive. And that is your strength. The standards you carry, the depth you require from relationships, the way your soul aches for truth, the way your eyes tear up when you see injustice, the way your body physically reacts to lies, these things are not flaws. These things are the activation chamber of the gift you carry inside your spirit. The gift that slept for 2,000 years is waking up inside you, and it is waking up because it is time. Because the world needs it now. Because heaven has orchestrated this moment specifically so that this gift could be activated through you. And the gift has been dormant, sleeping, waiting, preserved in the vault of heaven, protected by angels, held in the heart of God, waiting for the right moment, waiting for the right person, waiting for someone who had suffered enough to understand the weight of it, but who had not given up, who still believed, who still loved, who still had faith. Because God does not open sealed things in the wrong season. God does not release power at the wrong time. God does not give gifts to people who are not ready to handle them. And the season you are standing in right now, this very moment, is the season of opening. Let me tell you what has happened in the spiritual realm, because you need to understand the bigger picture of what you are walking into. For 2,000 years, this gift has been sealed, hidden, protected in heaven's vault. Not because the world was not ready. The world has needed this gift in every era. People have been suffering. People have been dying without knowing the love of God. But the person who would carry it was not yet forged. Generations rose and fell. Empires collapsed. Technologies changed. Religions multiplied. And through it all, the gift waited. It waited for the one soul whose pain had been deep enough. Not shallow pain, but the kind that breaks you open. It waited for faith that was tested. Faith that survived opposition. It waited for a heart broken enough, but who did not give up. And God looked down and said, "When that one comes, I will place them in the right moment, with the right message, and I will activate what no one else can activate." And that day is today. And that one is you. Now I know what some of you are feeling right now. I can feel it. You are feeling scared. You are thinking, "This cannot be for me. This is too big. This is too much. I do not deserve this. I am not qualified for this. There must be some mistake." You are feeling unworthy. And that is exactly the reaction the enemy wanted you to have. The enemy has whispered lies into your ear for years, telling you that you are not enough, that you are not chosen, that you are not special, that there is nothing different about you, that you are just like everyone else, that you are ordinary, that your life does not matter. And that is exactly how you know the gift is real, because the enemy only attacks what heaven is about to use. Trash does not need to be guarded. Treasures need locks. Treasures need security. Treasures need protection. And you, chosen one, are a treasure that heaven has been quietly guarding with angels, with trials, with sleepless nights, with tears that felt wasted at the time, but were actually preparing the soil of your destiny. Even in your hardest moments, heaven was working. That season when you lost everything and felt abandoned, heaven was not punishing you. Heaven was removing distractions. Everything that was tying you to the old version of yourself was being stripped away so that the new version could emerge. That season when people turned their back on you and you felt completely alone, heaven was not ignoring you. Heaven was severing the cords that were tying you to versions of yourself you were meant to leave behind. Heaven was cutting away the relationships that were keeping you small. Heaven was preparing you to be alone with God so that you could hear His voice without the interference of human voices. That season when you felt invisible at work, in your family, in your community, heaven was not forgetting about you. Heaven was training your spirit to hear the only voice that matters. Heaven was teaching you that the opinion of humans is worthless compared to the approval of your Creator. Every rejection was redirection. Every closed door was a forced walk toward your real doorway. Every person who said no was clearing the path for the person who would say yes. Every lie you were told about yourself was the exact opposite of who you were becoming. And now, as you listen to these words, as this message washes over your spirit, the shape of your destiny is becoming visible for the first time. The blurred picture is coming into focus. The confused path is becoming clear. You are beginning to see where all of this has been leading. You are beginning to understand why you had to walk through everything you walked through. You are beginning to recognize the hand of God in every detail of your story. Type 777 in the comments if you are starting to trust God's timing in your life. Because what feels like a delay has always been preparation. What feels like loss has always been redirection. What feels like failure has always been education. And what feels like the end has always been the beginning. Let me reveal something to you now, and I need you to take a deep breath before I say it. The spiritual gift that has been sealed for 2,000 years is not a small gift. It is not something you will use casually on Sundays or during prayer meetings. It is not a nice hobby or a side project. It is not something that makes your life a little bit better. It is an anointing that bridges heaven and earth in a way humanity has not experienced since the early disciples walked the dusty roads of the Holy Land. It is the kind of power that Jesus gave to His followers when He said, "Greater works than these will you do." It is the kind of authority that can shake spiritual realms and change physical reality. It is a gift of discernment that allows you to see through deception without being told. You will walk into a room and instantly know who is lying. You will read between the lines of what people say and hear the truth they are not speaking. You will feel when someone is being inauthentic or fake, and you will know why. This gift will protect you from false people and false paths. This gift will guide you toward truth. It is a gift of spiritual sensitivity that allows you to feel the emotional weight of a room the moment you walk into it. You will sense the atmosphere. You will feel the collective pain or joy or fear or hope that fills a space. You will be able to perceive what is happening in the spiritual realm underneath the surface of what you see with your eyes. You will be like a spiritual thermometer, measuring the temperature of the invisible dimensions that most people are completely blind to. It is a gift of prophetic sight that allows you to dream things before they happen and recognize strangers as if you have known them for lifetimes. You will have visions that come true. You will have dreams that contain messages from God. You will meet people and instantly recognize them, not because you have seen them before in the physical world, but because you have known them in the spiritual realm. You will be able to see the trajectory of events before they unfold and warn people before disaster strikes. It is a gift of inner healing that allows you to sit with broken people and unknowingly pull the poison out of their hearts simply by your presence. People will feel healed just by being near you. Your compassion will mend broken spirits. Your love will restore shattered souls. You will be like a spiritual physician diagnosing wounds that no one else can see and applying the balm of heaven's grace to heal them. And heaven has selected one human being on the face of this earth to carry this gift into the new era. One person, not many. One. And that human being is currently watching this video. That is you. I want you to pay attention to your body right now. What you are feeling is real. If your chest feels tight, that is recognition. Your spirit recognizes the frequency of truth. If your eyes are watering, that is confirmation. Heaven is confirming what you are hearing. If you feel warmth near your heart, that is activation. The gift beginning to stir. If your hands are trembling, heaven is downloading something into your spirit. You are not imagining this. You are not being dramatic. You are experiencing a real spiritual transfer taking place right now. You may have noticed that over the last few months your dreams have been more vivid, intense, colorful, filled with meaning. You may have noticed that Bible verses land on your heart like thunder instead of whispers. You may have noticed that you cannot watch the news because you feel the unseen pain behind every headline. You may have noticed that old friendships feel empty. You may have noticed that you crave silence more than conversation. You may have noticed that you wake between 3 and 5 a.m. for no medical reason, as if something is calling you. Every one of those signs is a thread. All of those threads have been weaving a cloak around your spirit. That cloak is your mantle. That mantle is your visible sign that you have been chosen for a specific purpose. And today, for the first time in 2,000 years, that mantle is being placed on your shoulders. Comment amen if you feel the weight of what I just said. This is your confirmation. Heaven is saying out loud what it has been whispering for years. Now I need to speak to you about the spiritual attacks that have been happening around you, because they have not been accidental. Every time you tried to pray, something interrupted you. Every time you tried to read scripture, your mind wandered. Every time you felt a surge of faith, a phone call came. Every time you felt close to breakthrough, sudden sickness came, sudden arguments, sudden financial pressure. That was not bad luck. That was warfare. The enemy knows what is being activated inside you. The enemy knows that once this gift opens fully, you will become dangerous to his kingdom. So he has been fighting you quietly. He has been stealing your joy. He has been flooding your mind with doubt, whispering lies. You are too broken, too late, too far gone to be used by God. But every attack he launched was also a confirmation. The enemy only fights what threatens his kingdom. And if he has been fighting you this hard, that means you are exactly who heaven says you are. Even in your hardest moments, heaven was not sleeping. Heaven was wide awake. Heaven was paying attention. Heaven was standing guard over your life. Heaven was standing between you and things you will never know about. Battles were fought on your behalf in realms you cannot see. Battles between light and darkness. Battles that determined whether you would survive your darkest nights. Battles that ensured that you would make it through the fire without being completely consumed. Angels were dispatched on nights when you felt completely alone. You thought no one was paying attention. You thought no one cared. You thought you were facing the darkness by yourself. But heaven sent watchers, heaven sent protectors, heaven sent beings of pure light to surround you and hold you up when you could not stand on your own. Provision arrived in ways you could not explain. Money appeared when you did not know how you would pay your bills. Help came from unexpected places. Doors opened when all other doors were closed. Resources materialized out of nowhere, and you attributed it to luck or coincidence, not realizing that it was the hand of God providing for you. Miracles small enough that you did not recognize them as miracles protected you from things that would have destroyed other people. You survived car accidents that should have killed you. You avoided dangerous situations by what seemed like chance. You walked away from harmful relationships before they consumed you. You escaped traps that were set for you. And you barely noticed because heaven works quietly, subtly, without drawing attention to itself. You are not here by accident. You survived things that should have broken you. You walked through fire without being burned. You carried grief that would have crushed others, and somehow you are still standing, still breathing, still listening, still open, still willing, still faithful. That is not resilience in the human sense. That is not luck. That is not coincidence. That is the hand of God literally holding you up so you could arrive at this exact moment, in this exact video, hearing this exact message from heaven. Type 1111 in the comments right now to affirm what you have just received. Because what you are feeling is not emotion, it is alignment. Your spirit is locking into place with heaven's plan for your life. Your destiny is recognizing itself. Your purpose is coming home to you. Now let me speak to you about the purpose that is unfolding in front of you, because destiny is not coming for you anymore. It has arrived. It is standing at your door. It is knocking. And for the first time in your life, you are going to recognize it not as an idea, not as a dream, not as a someday, but as a now. The purpose you were born for is not small, it is not comfortable, it is not something that your family will immediately understand. Your parents may not get it, your siblings may think you are crazy, your friends may not believe in it, the institution or career or life that you were supposed to build according to everyone else's expectations may have to be released. It may take you away from familiar places. You may have to leave comfort behind. You may have to step into the unknown. You may have to release your grip on what you thought your life was supposed to look like. It may separate you from people you have loved for decades. This is perhaps the hardest part. Some relationships were only meant to take you so far. Some people were only supposed to be in your life for a season, and now that season is ending, and you have to say goodbye to people you thought would be with you forever. And it breaks your heart. But heaven says it is necessary. Heaven says that some people cannot go where you are going. Heaven says that to fulfill your destiny, you have to release certain relationships. It will require you to trust God with everything you have been holding on to, your security, your comfort, your identity, your status, everything that made you feel safe, everything that you have built, everything that you have worked for. You may have to lay it all down at the feet of Jesus and say, I trust you more than I trust this. But the rewards on the other side are not of this world. The impact you are about to make on the lives of others will ripple across generations you will never meet. Strangers will one day say that they found God because of something you said, something you wrote, something you built, something you created, something you prayed at a moment when they had given up, and you will not even remember the moment. You will not know how significant it was, but heaven will remember, and that is enough. Many of you right now are feeling a pull toward something you cannot name. Maybe you have felt a calling to start a ministry, to speak to people, to teach, to guide, to lead. Maybe you have felt a calling to write a book, to share your story, to reveal truth that has been hidden. Maybe you have felt a calling to create something sacred, to build something that glorifies God, to construct something that heals brokenness. Maybe you have felt a calling to build a community, to gather people around a shared vision, to create a safe space for wounded souls. Maybe you have felt a calling to leave your current career, even though it looks good on paper, even though it pays well, even though everyone says you are crazy to consider it. That pull is not random. That pull is not imagination. That pull is not a sign that you are having a midlife crisis or losing your mind. That pull is the voice of the gift inside you pulling you forward into your assignment. That is your destiny speaking. That is your purpose calling. That is your soul saying, this is what I came here to do. And the reason you have been hesitating is because the enemy has been lying to you. The enemy has been telling you that you do not have the credentials, you do not have the degree, you do not have the certification, you do not have the formal qualifications. The enemy has been telling you that you do not have enough money, you cannot afford to take the risk. You cannot afford to leave your job. You cannot afford to start this thing. You do not have sufficient resources. The enemy has been telling you that you do not have the platform. No one knows who you are. You do not have a large following. You do not have an audience. You do not have anyone who would listen to what you have to say. The enemy has been telling you that you do not have the network. You do not know the right people. You do not have connections. You do not have someone to open doors for you. You do not have the inside track. The enemy has been telling you that you do not have the confidence. You are not ready, you are not prepared, you have not done enough work, you have not studied enough, you have not paid your dues. But the people God has used the most in human history were never qualified on paper. Moses was a murderer who did not even want the job. David was a shepherd boy with no credentials. Peter was a fisherman who could barely read. Paul was a religious extremist who persecuted Christians before he became one. Mary was a teenage girl from nowhere. Esther was an orphan. Gideon was a coward. Jeremiah was too young. Jonah tried to run away. None of them had the credentials. None of them had the network. None of them had the platform. None of them had the money. None of them looked qualified on paper. But they were all qualified by something far more important. They were qualified by obedience. They were qualified by surrender. They were qualified by fire. They had walked through trials that tested their faith. They had faced opposition that could have destroyed them. They had been refined in the furnace of affliction until everything false had burned away and only truth remained. And you have already walked through fire. So you are ready. You are ready to step into your purpose. You are ready to move into your assignment. You are ready to activate the gift that heaven has been preparing for 2,000 years. You may not feel ready. You may feel terrified. You may feel unprepared. You may feel like you do not know enough or have done enough or been enough. But readiness is not a feeling. Readiness is a fact. And the fact is that heaven says you are ready, and if heaven says you are ready, then you are ready. There is something shifting inside you right now, even as you listen to my voice. An old layer is peeling away. The version of you that was bound by fear is being released. The version of you that accepted the labels that other people put on you is being shed. The version of you that played small is being discarded. A new layer is being laid down. The version of you that walks in faith is being born. The version of you that recognizes your own power is being installed. The version of you that speaks truth without apology is emerging. The version of you that feared the future is being replaced by the version of you that walks into the future with heaven's authority. You no longer fear what is coming. You no longer dread the unknown. You begin to step forward with confidence because you know that heaven is directing you. You know that God is orchestrating every detail. You know that your future is secure in the hands of the Creator. The version of you that carried shame is being replaced by the version of you that carries fire. Shame has been your companion for so long. Shame for what you did not do. Shame for what you did do. Shame for who you are. Shame for who you are not. But shame is being burned away, and in its place, a holy fire is being lit. A fire that purifies, a fire that strengthens, a fire that empowers. The version of you that walked away from your gifts because of what people said is being replaced by the version of you that no longer cares what people say because you finally understand whose voice matters. For so long you have been listening to the voices of others, your parents, your teachers, your friends, your critics, your enemies, and you have shaped yourself according to what they said. You have hidden your gifts. You have suppressed your power. You have made yourself small so that others would be comfortable, but that is ending. You are learning to listen to only one voice. The voice of God, the voice of heaven, the voice of your Creator. And that voice, chosen one, is speaking to you right now. Through this video, through this moment, through this exact breath you are taking, that voice is saying, I see you. I have always seen you. I chose you before the foundation of the world. I marked you. I prepared you. I protected you. I saved you for this moment. And now it is time. Now you step into your power. Now you activate your gift. Now you become who I always knew you were. Let me tell you what heaven is releasing over your life as you listen. Heaven is releasing healing over every memory that still hurts, every traumatic experience, every painful moment, every wound that you have been carrying, every scar that still aches. It is all being healed, not just emotionally, but spiritually, not just mentally, but physically. The wounds that have defined you are being transformed. The pain that has shaped you is being redeemed. Heaven is releasing restoration over every relationship that was stolen. Relationships that were broken, relationships that were taken from you, relationships that died because of circumstances beyond your control. Heaven is restoring what was broken. Not necessarily the relationships themselves, but the wholeness inside you that those relationships damaged. You are being made whole. You are being restored to the state of wholeness that God designed you to have. Heaven is releasing multiplication over every resource that was drained. Money that was lost, time that was wasted, energy that was stolen, everything that was taken from you is being multiplied back. What the enemy stole, God is returning sevenfold. What locusts ate, God is restoring. What you lost, God is replacing with abundance. Heaven is releasing clarity over every decision that has confused you, every crossroads where you did not know which way to go, every choice that seemed impossible, every direction that seemed unclear. Clarity is coming, the fog is lifting, the path is becoming visible. You will know which way to go. You will feel the direction with certainty. Heaven is releasing courage over every battle that has made you shrink back. Every time you wanted to step forward, but fear held you back. Every time you wanted to speak, but doubt silenced you. Every time you wanted to move, but terror froze you. Courage is being poured into your spirit. Not the absence of fear, but the presence of something greater than fear. Courage that allows you to move forward even when you are afraid. Heaven is releasing a wave of favor that will arrive in ways you cannot plan, cannot predict, and cannot control. Doors that have been locked for years are about to swing open. You have been knocking on certain doors for so long. Doors that lead to opportunities. Doors that lead to platforms. Doors that lead to the place where you belong. And those doors have remained closed. But the locks are breaking now. The hinges are moving. The doors are opening. People who have been blocking you are about to step aside. The gatekeepers who would not let you through. The critics who said you could not do it, the people who stood in your way, they are stepping aside now. Either voluntarily or by circumstance, they are moving out of your path. Opportunities that have been delayed are about to accelerate. Everything you have been waiting for, everything that seemed like it would never happen, everything that has been on hold, it is accelerating now, it is moving forward now, it is manifesting now. And the timing will be so precise, so miraculous, so clearly divine, that even skeptics in your life will be unable to deny what they are seeing. People who do not believe in God will be forced to acknowledge that something supernatural is happening in your life. The evidence will be too clear. The miracles will be too obvious. The hand of God will be too visible to deny. This is not just a video. This is not just information. This is not just words on a screen. This is a checkpoint, and you are passing through it. The activation is taking place right now, not tomorrow, not next month, right now, as you listen, as you receive, as you open your heart and allow heaven to work. The gift that slept for 2,000 years is being poured into a vessel, and that vessel is you. Not because you earned it, not because you are perfect, not because you have been the most faithful or the most dedicated or the most devoted, but because you did not quit, because you kept praying when no one answered, because you kept believing when the evidence said otherwise, because you stayed soft in a world that tried to harden you, because you kept your faith alive in a season when faith felt impossible. That is why you were chosen. That is why this is you. That is why this moment is yours. Type 222 in the comments right now if you are ready for the breakthrough heaven is releasing. Because the breakthrough is not coming someday. It is here. It is now. And the only thing left is for you to say yes. Now I need you to do something important. Stop thinking for a moment. Remember the first time you felt God. That was the beginning of your activation. Everything since then, every book, every sermon, every prayer, every tear, was a step toward this exact moment. Your life is about to be divided. There will be a before and an after. From this day forward, you will feel something around you that others cannot see. That is your mantle. That is the authority heaven has placed on you. Nothing will be able to remove it because it was not given by man. It was given by the King of Kings. Listen to me one final time. You may have felt alone most of your life, misunderstood by everyone, but you were never alone. Heaven was forming you in secret, protecting you, strategically placing trials to sharpen you and prepare you for this assignment that is beginning now. Everything you lost is being restored. Everything you suffered is being recycled into strength. You are not too late. You are not too damaged. You are ready. You are chosen. You are activated. Type Amen if this message spoke to your spirit, because something has just been released. Every chain is breaking, every fog is lifting. The breakthrough you have been waiting for is standing directly in front of you. You were never ordinary, chosen one. You were always extraordinary. And now the world is waking up to what heaven already knew. Go in peace, walk in power, and never forget, you are the first in 2,000 years to carry this gift. Do not waste it. Heaven believes in you. And now, finally, you can believe in yourself too.